This week on Fishette, Jon discusses how to adjust your lure selection and jigging tactics to attract and trigger more mid-season walleye on every trip.
Right there, got him. Man, I think one of the toughest things about this time of the year is getting that actual bite. It's not finding fish. You know, you can find fish. They're not that complicated to find. They're still going to be in a lot of those same areas they were in December and January. Maybe they've slid off a little bit into some of the baits and stuff. But here's the thing I'll tell you. Oh yeah, good eye. Look at that one. Perfect fish. Look at that guy. That's an awesome walleye right there. But let me tell you what I think the hardest part is. I think the hardest part is triggering that strike once you get them in to look at it. Because here's what happens. These fish will come roaring in and they'll look at it because they've got so many things they can look at. There's bait everywhere and they're on the move. But here's the thing. They're not so aggressive that they're chasing it down like they were not too long ago. Now these fish have slowed down. So a lot of times they'll spend more time coming in and looking. And when they come in and look, you got to figure out a way to trigger them, right? Well, a lot of times that can be really, really complicated. So I want to show you what I'm using. Great fish right there. We're going to throw him in the pail. Great dinner fish. This is the Rattl'n Quiver Spoon that I'm using today. Now the Quiver Spoon's been out for a couple years. I'm using the Rattlin version. This is brand new this year. And I'm using the Rattlin version for this reason. If I were fishing back in December, when these fish were really aggressive, I could get by without a rattle a lot of times because they're on the move and they were finding my bait. But what I'm doing right now is I'm using a bait that looks really natural. It's a lightweight spoon, so it does this wobble going down. Looks like a dead minnow, or looks like a dying minnow. It really looks natural. It gives flash because the back side of this has gold on it. So I've got color and I've got gold. I'm grabbing their attention with that. But with the addition of this rattle, here's what makes it so important at this time of the year. When you get to this time of the year and those fish aren't moving as much, you need to use something to get them to you. So what I'm doing is I'm using a bait in this new Rattl'n Quiver Spoon that's still very natural looking on the fall, but has a rattle that goes tick, 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 tick as it goes down. So I'm doing two things. I'm grabbing their attention and getting them here, but then I'm using a bait that is still on the natural side and really on the subtle side. And that's how I'm getting them to bite. There he is, got him. Oh, he came off right there, shoot. See if we still got bait, he's right there. See if he'll hit it again. Here he comes. If we still got bait, I'll bet we'll get another crack at him. Dead. Look at that. That is cool. Got lucky there. I think I pinned him pretty good this time though. I think we got him this time. Man, that guy came up and he hit it. And I had him moving and then lost some nice walleye. Look at this one. Look at that. Great fish. Look at that. Man, isn't it funny how that works? When fish decide it's time to eat, they'll eat. And you know, this has been one of those days and one of those mornings here where you got to work and work and work every single fish. But when it's time, they will come up and they will just do it. But part of it is, look at that. I'm going to show you this fish one more time. Let me hold him up good for you. Let me get a good hold on him. Look at that. What an awesome walleye. I'm going to let him go. And then let me explain a little bit about what we're actually doing here with the action on the lure. Because fish like that right here, man, there's a lot of things that go into making him bite in these dog day times of the year. Oh, geez, hang on a minute here, buddy. You went the wrong way on me. You get you back down that hole. There you go. That is really, really cool. All right. So here's the big thing, right? We got to bring fish to us at this time of the year. We got to talk them into biting. So one of the really neat things about this new Rattl'n Quiver Spoon is it's actually got a rattle right up here in the eye. So the eye's protruded on both sides, but it's actually pretty loud. I mean, you can hear that rattle. There's a little bit of tick. The other thing is the lightweight side of this spoon. This spoon is actually made of brass. And what's cool about this is it drops so slow. Now, does it drop slow when I'm trying to get back down to fish? Sure, it is definitely slower than, say, a Rattl'n Flyer spoon or even a glow spoon. But what happens is once I've got it down there, I can do a lot of things with a spoon like this right in front of those fish. I can just wiggle it, and because it's so lightweight, it'll just dance around without being super abrupt. Every time I lift it, it'll flutter back down. It comes back down slow and gives those fish a longer ambush point, because most of the time they're going to bite on the drop or they're going to bite when it slows down. Well, this spoon, being so lightweight, gives them that extra ambush time and can make a huge, huge difference. How in the world is this fish this high? We're 10 feet off the bottom right now. Hard to believe that this fish would come this high and not hit it. But he keeps coming up. Every time I reel, he comes up and looks. There he is, got him. I guess we're about to find out. This fish, we ended up at 18 feet before he bit. We're fishing in 29 feet. Look at this great walleye. Look at this. How neat is that? When fish will do that for you. Now that one, he's a little bit more aggressive than what some of these fish have been. He came a long ways up, but let me tell you, he didn't come rushing up and smash it. It was still a lot of work. We still had to kind of tantalize him with that spoon, but man, that's a great fish. That's a sauger too. That is a giant sauger. Look at that. It's actually a sauger. Well, man, this side of him looks like a sauger. That side looks like a walleye, but he's got a lot of gray on there. Either way, awesome fish. That is awesome. What a cool fish. You know, when you're fishing stained water, deep water, anything low light, you know, say snow on the ice, whatever it may be, color becomes more and more and more important, because you just got to make sure these fish can find you. So, you know, we can put noise down there, we can put action down there, but color's really important as well. And you'll notice today I'm using glow-colored Rattl'n Quiver spoons. I mean, that's just where I'm at. But one of the things that I think is really overlooked is glowing that lure up. And one of the things I'll tell you is there's a lot of cheap ways to glow up lures, okay? This Lindy Taser is not one of those cheap ways to do it. It's the best way to do it. It's reliable, it's bright, it's gonna hold up. You're not gonna buy this thing out of a little tub at the gas station checkout. This is in the ice fishing aisle hanging on a card, and when you charge the lure up with one of these Lindy Tasers, it's gonna take a big glow. Then number two, it's gonna last. I've had this same Lindy Taser clipped on my tackle bag for the last 2 years. And I mean, the thing's as bright as it was the day I took it out of the package. There he is. Let's cross our fingers that this is an eye. He kind of came up, almost like he might be a tulipy, but you know what? Oh, look at that. Jumbo perch. He just looked different down there. Look at that, big perch. That's cool. It just goes to show you that you get out here, and man, he's got all kinds of little bugs he's eating there. He's flopping around, but that's a cool fish to add to the pail. You get some of those when you get out here into this basin type area. You have a better shot at getting more of them. But it was funny because the way he looked on the screen, he didn't really look like the walleyes or saugers. He looked more like a tulipy the way he came up. And it's funny how you get so used to your sonar unit that you can actually tell the difference between how fish act. But you know what? You can actually do that. I mean, that just didn't seem right, the way that fish came into the bait and the way he hit it. But we'll take him. We'll add him into the pail any day of the week. This fish came in high. See if it's just a good walleye or if it's a tulipy. Came in high. I had to actually reel up to him. There he is, got him. We'll find out what we got here. Sometimes, you know, I mean, that can go one of two ways. Do we got a tulipy or do we got a good walleye? You know, I mean, you never know for sure when they come in high like this. I almost feel like we got a good walleye. Yeah, we do. Look at this. Great walleye, good fish. This just goes to show you why it's so important to pay attention to what's happening on your sonar, because that fish right there, he came in super high and he was going down. So I reeled up to him and went up past him, and he came up and he railed right back up there and nailed it. What an awesome fish. Great way to wrap up a day, man. I'll tell you what, look at that. That is awesome. These new Rattl'n Quiver Spoons, these are the real deal, man. They're a fish catcher. Quiver Spoon's always been a fish catcher. Add that little rattle there and I'll tell you what, that's awesome. Another great eye, man. Get out and do this. Don't give up on ice fishing just because it's February, just because of the cold, just because of the dog days. Just get out, change your tactics a little bit, change your locations a little bit, change those lures a little bit. You know what? You can put those fish right there up on the ice. That's awesome. Great fish to wrap up the day with.